Hey y'all, K Divine coming back with another message. Um, their control was always an illusion. Whoever it is that you're trying to get away from, or whatever situation you're trying to heal from, you got to understand that those people's control over you and your life and your emotions and all of that was always an illusion. No one truly has real power over you. That's not real. Like, you are the one that decides who you are. You dictate how you respond and how you show up. I'm not saying that you won't get triggered, but you have to learn how to combat those triggers, because some of these people are master manipulators, and that's what they do. They feed on your emotions, and a lot of them feed on negative emotions. They love it. It's like they crave it. I literally watched that happen in real time yesterday. Some dude who I really don't even think works over there just randomly started an argument with a guy who's parked next to me, talking about move your car back. The dude's car is dead. He can't move it back. And he was just like, this is not a hotel. And he just started yelling, this is bullshit. I'm like, these are the type of people who thrive off of negative energy. They're the people who thrive off of negative interactions. They need that. They need that to survive. And it's really sad. But you have to understand that these people, they don't control you. Other people's actions do not dictate how you respond. You decide how you respond to situations. This is why I tell y'all often that silence is super, super important, because when somebody does something weird towards you and then there's silence after it, they have to sit with their actions and think about the reason why they did it. That's usually where cognitive dissonance comes into play, because a lot of people will say, like, well, this person deserves this, this, and that because X, Y, Z, even if they don't have any factual proof to back that statement up. And then they'll do some weird they'll do some weird stuff towards you, and then they'll be confused when you don't respond to them. I had somebody kind of do something like that earlier today when I was in the restroom, and they knew I was in that restroom. Like, it was locked. They knew it was. They knew somebody was in there, and they pushed down on the lock to try to, like, scare me or, like, startle me or something like that. And then they ended up, like, sitting under the pavilion in the park. They ended up sitting under the pavilion, like, waiting for me to come out to see if I was gonna, like, say something to them. Which I just thought was so funny. And so I just went the other way. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. And this is what I'm saying. Like, people thrive off of negative interactions with you. They want people to, they need that from you. And a lot of that comes from your enemies too, because your enemies have they have already told so many people that you are a certain way, and now they need it to come true. And some of the people who, are friends with these people, they know that person is lying, or they know what the plot is. And so they all think it's fun, and that's why they all attack you together, because they need that justification so that they can all, sit and play the victim. Because that's really what they do. That's really what people do. Because it's like anybody who does something and then they sit and wait for a reaction from you, that's pure manipulation. And this is why you need to pause more. You need to pause and look at situations more before you start to react to things. You can't take everything so personally either, because you got to understand that the stuff that people are choosing to do towards you are choices those are their choices. They're choosing to bother somebody who's not bothering them because they are bothered. That doesn't have anything to do with you. I know that it's happening to you, but it's not. It may be directed towards you, but these people don't have any control over you. And that's what they want. But it's an illusion. It's an illusion, because if you can learn to be slow to speak and quick to hear, if you can slow down and look at stuff objectively and say, is this worth my time? You do not have to attend every argument that you're invited to. You do not have to attend every disagreement and shouting match that you're invited to. You don't have to go there with people. That's what people want. They feed, and then it's like, because they want you to get upset so that you can say stuff out of pocket, so that you can get out of character, so then they have something to go off of later and say, well, her and I see 2020, hindsight 2020, like, oh, well, I got in an argument with her because she did blah, blah, and so they can flip the story so they can play the victim. Like, this is what I'm telling you. Like, this is what master manipulators do. They do all that stuff. They create a whole show, and they yell, they scream and shout, or sometimes, they, like, I had one guy, I had this older gentleman, him and his wife were pulling up to a restaurant that I was walking past, and they had a nice car. It was a Lexus. It wasn't like it's not my dream car, it's not something I would purchase myself, but a nice car nonetheless. And he sees me, he eyes me, he immediately locks the door when he gets out. And then he stands next to his car looking at me like, you're not going to steal my car type of look. And I just smiled and laughed, and then I just kept walking. And I could hear in his footsteps behind me that he was shook, because he was not expecting that. Because this is what I'm saying, like, people, you making an assumption off of nothing. You're making an assumption that I want to steal your car simply because I'm black and I'm walking. No, I don't want your car. I was minding my business. I knew I was gonna have to walk back to my destination. I knew where I was going. I had no intention. I have zero intention on being a criminal and stealing a vehicle from someone. I'm not gonna get that far. I already know that. I'm not stupid. Like, even if I really wanted to do some wild shit like that, I'm not gonna get far. Like, are you serious? You think I want to do all of that just to go to jail? No. I'll just keep walking. I'll just keep walking, man. Like, it's not a big deal to me. It's like, I don't have no plan after that. People who steal cars and do stuff like that, they don't have no plan. Like, I don't have no place to go take it, to go hide it or nothing. So it's like, not like I could go and do some weird ass shit like that to nobody. But yeah, their control was always an illusion. And you were not conscious to your own power. This is why it's so important to call your power back to you, because you relinquished it to those people because you wanted to please them, you wanted to be accepted and all those other things. But when your interests don't serve the people who have been benefiting off of you, that's when you'll see the most betrayal start to happen. And that's when they try to control your emotions and your reactions to their bullshit, because they need you to fall back in line. And you could see that in any dynamic, a family dynamic, a toxic family dynamic, a toxic work environment, a toxic community, a toxic relationship. When you start shifting your perspective on things, that's when they start acting funny. That's when they start trying to, they need to make you the problem, because they know that they're the problem. They know they're the problem, but they need those negative reactions so that they can say, like, no, see, this person's the problem. No, see, this person is the criminal and all of this other stuff. This is why you got to be careful around certain people, because they'll try to set you up too. And I think I've mentioned that before, where my ex's stepmom, she tried to set me up in one of my accounts to make it look like I was stealing from people, and I don't steal. I am no thief. If I don't have the money to purchase something, then I just will not get it. I work for everything that I have, and I will do it again. You are the only person who controls you. So don't sit here and make yourself believe that these people have any power or control over you, because they don't. They have zero control. As far as I'm concerned, like, the way that I see it, when people start being weird towards me, I'm like, that doesn't exist in my reality. Whatever little hater shit that you were trying to do towards me doesn't exist in my reality. I'm good. I don't need that in my life. I don't need to respond to that. You don't need to respond. And people will think that you're weak because you choose not to respond to bullshit. But that's actually a really good, like, that's a strength. It takes a lot of restraint not to respond to people's nonsense, because it's like, I don't need to get sucked into that negativity, because then it's like, then that's messing up my day. That's messing up my mood and what I was doing. Because, like, imagine, like, earlier, like I said about the whole bathroom situation. Imagine me coming out of the bathroom and trying to approach that guy and being like, were you trying to open the door? Couldn't you see that it was locked? Like, could you imagine? Like, then I would have been getting in an argument, or, you know, accusing someone. Like, I didn't see him do it, so I know that somebody did it. And I know that it was him. I didn't need confirmation. I know that it was him. But it's like, one, I didn't see it happen. Two, accusing someone of doing something like that, it's small. Really, it's so small, because it's like, okay, the door was locked, so he couldn't open it. Whatever he was trying to do, scare me or whatever, trying to start an argument, it failed, because I'm not interested in arguing with you about you trying to open the door. Look at you sitting over there looking stupid. See, that's why I'm saying that cognitive dissonance, it comes into play, because then they sitting there and they're like, well, she didn't say anything. She just walked away. She ignored me. That be hurting their feelings, low key. When you ignore people and they bullshit, they feel so low. They're like, they ignored me. It makes them feel, it rendered them insignificant. Absolutely. Every single time. Render these people insignificant to you in your life. That is how you, and that's why I said about, like, the whole, I'm not really addressing the whole gang stalking thing too much these days, because I'm like, how do you get rid of this shit? You starve it. I can't be acknowledging these people all the time and getting all emotional about the shit that they doing, because we already know what it is. You know, we know what it is, and they know what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, you know, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't know what's going on, even though people want you to act crazy about it. And it's like, I know I'm not crazy, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can't stop these people from following me right now. I don't know how to make that stop. And I guess me being, you know, temporarily unhoused, I don't like the word homeless, because I know I know this isn't forever, but me being temporarily unhoused is not enough for them, because I still am not giving up on myself, and they hate that. They wanted me to feel so low about myself, like, but that's why I said all this shit is fake, because I'm like, if you had to take everything away from me, you had to send me to get evicted 3 times, you had to steal money from me, you had to stop talking to me and spread lies about me to make other people believe that I was some bad, needy person who just can't get their shit together. You had to do all of that stuff. That's fake. That's an illusion. You thought that you had control over my life. You thought that if you took my money, if you made it difficult for me to get another apartment, if you stopped talking to me because I was ungrateful, or whatever these people were saying about me to, you know, their friends and family and all that other shit, whatever the lies that people created, it was all an illusion. It was all an illusion so that they could further their agenda, which is crumbling as we speak. And this is why being still, this is why silence is important. Like, these are important things moving forward in your life, because you will have so much more peace within yourself. And again, I've been saying this, you'll be able to look at things more objectively when you are still. It's agony waiting, though. It's agony waiting for justice. It's agony waiting for that validation. Not that I need validation, but I need the validation of, I know that this has happened to me and I want to be believed. like I really do. Like, I want people to see this for what it truly is. Not because I want people's approval, but it's like I want it in full display so people know who these people really are. Like, all of the lies that you told, that wasn't me, it was them. They told those lies. Their control was always an illusion. Never forget that. It's your girl K Divine. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.